Hey guys, this is Shannon with Nearly Organic Noshing, and tonight I am going to make a chicken pot pie. It is going to be a nearly homemade chicken pot pie because I am not doing it all from scratch. So one of the things that I'm going to use to make this just a little bit easier is pie crust. I usually buy these at the holidays when they are on sale. Yes, you can make your own pie crust, and no, they are not that hard, but time is always of the essence for me, and these come out perfect every time. So I have two pie crusts here. There's two in the box, one for the bottom, one for the top. I am going to go ahead and cut up an onion, potatoes, and celery, but to that I'm going to mix in just some mixed vegetables. Some people do not like the green beans mixed in. We do like green beans, so some people just prefer the carrots and peas. This has carrots, peas, green beans, and corn. So that is what we're putting in our mix, but use whatever vegetables that you enjoy. I just think the more vegetables you have in something like this, it kind of counteracts the flour and the crust. So I have these vegetables. This is some chicken that I had cooked yesterday when I made chicken and dumplings, some leftover, and I will link the video up in the corner for the homemade chicken and dumplings. And then most recipes you find will say heavy whipping cream. I'm just using a little bit of half and half because that is what I have in the refrigerator right now. And I am using turkey stock instead of chicken stock. This is some I had canned up last year, and I'm trying to use up all of my old stocks. So you can buy the stuff that's in the box from the store or the can. This is what I have, so this is what I'm going to use. And then I have some organic all-purpose flour. And then for seasonings, forgot two seasonings over here. Of course, you need salt and pepper, and then I'm just using some thyme and parsley. You could throw Italian seasoning in here. You could get really creative with your seasoning. You could add in some poultry seasoning. That's always good, just gives it some extra flavor. So this is the basic ingredients list that I'm going to be working with, and I'll show you how it all comes together as I go along. It is just so simple, and you'll really impress people when you pull a homemade chicken pot pie out of the oven, and it is just not that hard. All right, let's get started. Okay guys, I have the pie crust in a pan. I'm using cast iron, but you can use glass, metal, whatever you want. And I'm gonna go ahead and par cook this in the oven at 350 while I start chopping my other ingredients. Okay guys, I have my celery washed, my potato peeled, and my onion peeled, ready to go. I put 2 tablespoons of butter in a skillet on the stove, and I'm starting to heat that up. If my chicken was raw, now is the time that I would be cutting that up and adding it into the skillet also. But since I cooked this chicken last night, it's gonna go in a little bit later because it's already completely cooked. So I'm gonna go ahead and get these chopped and into the skillet. Okay guys, I have the potatoes, onions, and celery all in here cooking down. I'm gonna get them about 3/4 of the way cooked, and I just added a little bit of the broth in with the butter. You could throw some water in there too, like half a cup of water. I just think a little bit of moisture helps soften them up, and then I'll let some of that moisture evaporate off of them to kind of caramelize the onions up just a little bit. But this is not going to be a super caramelized. These are just going to be cooked soft. So I just prefer it that way, just to have them a little bit brown, but that's just me. Most people just cook them until they're soft. And while this is finishing cooking, I'm over here cubing up the chicken. It is going to be in pretty large pieces. It's not going to be super small, and that will be going in along with the vegetables in just a few minutes. Okay guys, the vegetables have softened up quite a bit, so I'm going to go ahead and start adding some of my seasoning. And I have about a tablespoon of parsley here, and then about a teaspoon or so of thyme. And then I'm going to give it a nice dose of pepper. And salt. And give that a stir. All right, now I'm gonna put about 1/4 cup of flour over this. And mix it well. I don't want to see any more white flour obvious in here. I want to get it all mixed up and cooked. And then I'm going to add about 1 cup of chicken broth and about 1/2 cup of my 1/2 and 1/2. I know, not super appealing to look at right now, right? But trust me, it is going to be very good. And now for some 1/2 and 1/2. All right, I'm gonna bring this up to a boil, and then I'm gonna add in my other veggies and chicken. Okay guys, I am gonna just let this thicken up just a tiny bit more, but I have the chicken and the mixed vegetables in here, so they're just gonna come up to temperature, heat up, and let the sauce thicken just a little bit, and then I'm gonna go ahead and get it poured into my pie crust. Okay guys, I have my pie crust filled. I actually have a decent little amount left over here of the filling, so I'm probably gonna pull some phyllo dough out of the freezer and make a little phyllo dough in, but that's just something I'm gonna do on the side with the extra. And this, I'm gonna put the regular pie crust on top and get it cooking. All right, I have the top on. It is not all pretty and smooth because my pan is very hot and the filling was hot. So it immediately starts losing its shape as soon as you put the pie crust on it, but I just cut a couple of slits in the top. And now I'm gonna go pop this in the oven for about 30 minutes or so at 350. Okay guys, here it is out of the oven. It looks really, really good. And I ended up just making up some biscuit dough and putting that on top of the leftover. It bubbled up a little bit, but it'll be fine. But I'm gonna go ahead and cut this one and plate it up. Okay guys, here is dinner all plated up. Looks really good, and we just paired it with some fresh veggies and ranch and some peaches, and this is dinner tonight. All right guys, hope you're having a great evening. If you like the video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. If you have any comments, please leave them down below. All right, have a great night.